Hey friends, welcome to the Courageous Stylist channel. On this channel, you can expect videos on how to grow as a stylist with confidence and, of course, courage. I've owned my own salon now for almost 2 years. I have an employee-based salon, and in this video, I want to share a few lessons I've learned while owning my own salon. So let's get into it. Lesson number 1. I took way too much advice from too many different people, and I took way too many classes. And that's something that probably sounds a little contradictory, because you would think, like, don't you want to take as much education as possible? And yes, I definitely preach getting a lot of education, but what happened for me personally was I took advice from this person, I took advice from this person, I took advice from this person and this person. So just really learning from too many people and falling for the clickbait on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, and saying like how to do this, how to do that, and taking their advice and implementing it. But what happened is I would implement this person's advice, and then I would take a class from this person, and then they would say, not specifically, they wouldn't call anyone's names out, but they would say, well, what this type of business model is that's not right, and you should do it this way. And everything was kind of just contradicting each other. And for me, I was just like lost in the sauce, because I was like, okay, well, this person said to do this and I implemented it and it's not working for me. So now this person's saying that they have a course on how to do this, and then I signed up for that, and that wasn't helpful for me either. Because of course, like, coaches and courses are based off of their experiences. So what they experienced may not be something that was right for me and my business, or what they might be coaching to is something that's great for a salon owner who's like established with like a full staff. But for me, who's still a baby business owner and currently have a very, very small team, like, those systems and business models just weren't working for me, and it was draining and just very confusing for me. And this is actually just a light bulb moment that I've had within the last couple weeks, is really just realizing, like, I need to take a step back and kind of just start to focus on what I think is right for my business, and not follow what all of these people online and on Instagram are saying is right for my business. Lesson number 2, not paying myself. They say to you, like, pay yourself first, and there's a book called Profit First that I've never actually read, but I got a lot of advice on these systems saying, like, pay yourself first, pay yourself first. But it was just something that was hard for me, because after you put like all of your blood, sweat, tears, money, and energy into something, and then you see this number start to grow in this bank account, I felt like I needed to save that money for an emergency fund, for taxes, for the unknown. And I kind of just liked seeing this big number, because I was like, wow, like, this is something that I'm growing, and I don't want to take anything out of it. And unfortunately, like, I need a paycheck. So that was something that I really wish I implemented early on, because that's just something that is hard for me to do even now. Like, I really hate taking a draw out of the bank account to my personal account, even though I have to live and I have my own personal finances. So something that I wish is, or I don't mean wish, something that I miss is someone writing me a paycheck. Lesson number 3, taking time off and taking a break. Something that I personally struggle with is just taking time off. I hate taking time off of work, and it's something that I never really liked to do as an employee, but now that I own a business, it's even harder, because for me, I just feel guilty. I feel like I'm supposed to be there all the time, and I'm really, this is just something that's my own issue. But I'm thinking, like, what are other people going to think? Like, what are my clients going to think? Like, when I say, oh, I can't take you for this appointment, I'll be on vacation. And that's just an insecurity that I have. And really just thinking, like, do my employees need me there? Like, are they thinking like, why is she on vacation? And you know, it's really just stupid, and that's in my own head, but I really wish that I really took more time off for myself with my first year of business, because, you know, really just as much as you do have to hustle to grow the business, and that's what I was doing, it's also not good not to take a break, because really what happens is when you burn out, you can't really produce anymore. And that's kind of what I do, is I really just like go, and then I burn out and crash, and then kind of just have to reset myself all over again. So something that I learned is I really need to just take time off, and, you know, whether it just be like a weekend or something, like really just take some time off and reset and feel refreshed, so that I can continue to do my best as a business owner. Lesson number 4, I expected there to be very minimal bumps and almost perfection. I wasn't expecting sunshine and rainbows, of course, because owning a business, like, there's just so many things, and I've never owned a business before, so of course I don't know what I'm doing. Every day I'm learning, but I think because I took so many classes and, you know, kind of just overextended myself on education, I felt like I was going to be more prepared than what I actually was. You know, life and business just throws you unexpected curveballs that you can't control, and, you know, really just, you know, it caused me to be up all night with anxiety and worries and just so many things of just like, you know, clients, and, you know, really just crowd control of like, you know, making sure that everybody in my space is happy, and you know, really just making sure that it's as great as it can be. And that was just something that I feel like was a harsh reality for me to accept, was that I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was. And that's not that it's my fault, it's just that's what goes into owning a business. There's just so much unknown that you'll never be prepared for. And, you know, I'm only barely in year 2, so I can only imagine what else is going to happen. And when it happens, I'm just going to have to roll with the punches and figure it out. Lesson number 5 is having systems in place. So something else that kind of rolls back to perfection is I wanted there to be like systems in place and all these things, that like all my ducks in a row before I had employees. And I thought that I did have them, like I did have systems set up and I did have things implemented. But the reality of it is systems aren't really like useful until you make mistakes, if that makes any sense. Like, you know, like rules and things like that come into play kind of happen after you make a mistake. So, you know, really just having these systems and things in place, like, really just didn't work the way I thought that they would. Of course, you know, you need to have systems and structure, but it changes all the time, just because I learn literally every single day just from life experience, not even education that I take. It's, you know, really just learning things every single day, and then just having to change it and just make up a new structure and system that's going to actually work for my business, not because I thought that it was going to work. Lesson number 6 is definitely the hardest lesson that I had to learn, is not everyone wants to see you win. No matter how much people say they're your cheerleader and how much people say they love you and they support you and they want to see what's best for you, once you start succeeding and start doing something that's different and you're not at the same playing field anymore, people want to tear you down, and they will go to any length to do that. And that's just something that I was definitely the most confused about, and something that hurt the most, really just because I'm a very humble person, and I feel like for me personally, I think literally anybody could own a business if they wanted to. I don't think anyone's stopping anybody from doing that. I think everyone has a fair chance at doing whatever their dreams may be. So for me, when I started to get a lot of negative commentary and, you know, just negative things towards me. It was just something that was very hurtful and confusing because it just really wasn't something that I was prepared for, and it's honestly just a hard reality to accept. So I would say that's definitely something that you're gonna have to be prepared for. Those were some of the lessons that I learned as a salon owner. So if you are interested in becoming a salon owner, comment below anything that may have stood out to you. Thank you so much for tuning into The Courageous Stylist. If you want to see more, like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye.